Hello and good morning. You are back with the crew. I'm a little under the weather, so I don't know, just, feeling a little dizzy, lightheaded. But I got to get this out because I just saw that they announced it, and it's something that that I've known about for quite some time. I can't talk about the whole thing, but there's a lot of it that I can really go over real quick. And that is big banking's coming to crypto. I was talking with somebody that may or may not have worked at a company called Citadel, initial Citadel. They're two brothers, and I've known them for a while now, and I knew their father very well. Those people have been on the, how do I say, cutting edge of what's going forward with banking. They told me something quite a few months ago and begged me not to talk about it, and I just basically found out that it's all public, not all of it, but the big picture of it's public. Something happened in the news, and I don't know why nobody's covering it. And I couldn't even find any articles about it. He sent me a link, which was from his company, but it's pretty impressive. Anyway, story is this. It's not a story, it's a reality. Citadel, JP Morgan, and Citigroup have gotten together, and they've essentially applied to be custodians of crypto. If you know anything about Citadel, they are the market maker of the world, one of the market makers of the world. I'm going to say that I'm going to speculate here for a minute, but I'm not speculating at all. Just can't say that I know this is what they're doing, but this is pretty obvious to anybody in crypto. This is very big and very important for you to understand. When you're a market maker and you deal in the level of bonds and equities in which they trade and derivatives, this is their game. This is what they play. This is, those stripes on that animal, those people are zebras. That's just what they are. That's their whole market share. Their whole knowledge base is on that strategy of what you and I like to call DeFi. That's right. So you and I come along, Johnny come lately, and we have our little DEXs and our AMMs, and we think, wow, we're going to get Mr. Trump to listen to what we think and what we want, and we get all this, and it's all going our way, and we're going to do all this DeFi, and we're going to make so much money on the side. I still believe a lot of that's going to happen. What I'm trying to tell you is these big banking institutions, that's their game. That's essentially what they do, right? That's what you call them. And now we're kind of crowding in, and let's face facts, we just dropped under $3 trillion market. We're big, we're pretty big, and we're getting smart, and we're getting better at what we're doing. But let's go into why that's important to Mr. Trump, say. Who are these people? Who are those banks? Oh, that's right. Those banks are the banks that determine whether or not we have a recession or not. Yeah, that's a fact. Those are the banks that determine whether or not you get to borrow a car loan at 7% or 5%. Those are the banks that hold the collateral of the wealth of the United States. Because we know it's not in Fort Knox. He needs these big players. These big players are, yes, late to the game, but they've been studying really hard. DeFi is not a concept that's beyond their abilities. This is why I'm telling you all of this. They're coming. He needs them. And is he going to just say, oh, well, I'm just going to go ahead and give my whole future and finance of the America and the world to these, crypto people? No, he can't do that. And I know I'm bursting a lot of bubbles right now. But what I'm trying to say is the big system has to be involved. Well, let's now backtrack a little bit, and I'm going to get a little bit conspiratorial here, if you will. But there's a lot of people throwing Tether under the bus. Okay? Let's remember who was affected most by Tether's use. Let's remember, Tether created that idea. The whole stablecoin is to be commended to them. This is a brilliant idea, and they executed it from a napkin with a bunch of crypto geeks sitting around to implementing one of the greatest banking concepts in the history of all mankind. Well, now they're getting thrown under the bus, getting thrown out of Europe. They're getting, everybody's, oh, how come they never get audited? I see nothing but people throw them under the bus and trash them on the internet, and it blows my mind. It's like, these people, who do you think is behind all that bad knowledge? Who do you think is creating all the negativity in the gray smoke around Tether? Well, let's backtrack a little bit. What does Tether do? That's right. Tether allows you to buy or sell the value of a US dollar anywhere in the world on your phone for free. Now, let's see. Who does that affect the most? Gee, I don't know. Citadel comes to mind. JP Morgan certainly comes to mind. All the banking institutions don't want to see this guy go over here, and they made, was it $13 billion Tether made for allowing you to use money for free. You understand that business concept for them doesn't float? Tether made more money, okay, than JP Morgan did banking. What do you think JP Morgan thinks about that idea? How much do you think they care about that? They don't like to be shown up. Okay, so what does that tell us where we're going? What picture did that just paint? That means they're going to get into the DeFi world, correct? That's right. They're going to get into DeFi world. We know that. But we're going to get into stablecoins. They don't need CBDCs because, let's remember, central banks are above the banks I just talked to you about. Central banking, CBDCs, would eliminate that that level. It would go directly from the central banker to the citizen. So what does Trump need? Trump needs a lot of things. He needs a lot of help from everybody around him. He's only but one man. He needs institutional money. He needs all of the power players in the world behind him. But he has to see innovation, and he has to support that as well. There has to be a combining and a marriage of it. That's why I really like what Ripple does. That's why I like where XRP is. That's why I do so many videos about it. Because the joining of all those institutions can work very well on the RPL network. And yeah, you guys know all that. But where I'm going with this, and what I want to talk about, is when you see this big movement, when you see a massive change in the way money and the way things change the evolution of a monetary exchange, you have to look in two places. And the number one place you have to look is who's in power at the time that the change occurred, and what were the incentives? Who's incentivized by this? Well, you got to give and take. That's what Trump is doing. What does he need? He needs to get the power of the banking monetary institutions behind this crypto movement that he's in. And then he needs to stay on top so that he can use that as leverage against all the other nations in which he has tariffs and whatnot against. Well, then that creates gray area, quicksand. Nobody knows whether they're on solid ground or not. And what does that do to markets? It gives them doubt. We don't want big players in the market showing doubt and fear, okay, in particular the public. So why is the market crashing right now, Alan? I'm so glad you asked me that. Again, whenever you see big movements like we've had in the red in the last few days, I immediately go to my futures chart, and boy, look at what I see there. I see nothing but what? Futures shorts. There was $500 million of shorts eliminated yesterday in futures markets. That told me everything I needed to know. Who sells the short market? Who does that? Oh, that's right. Citadel. Who's in control of that? Citadel. Who makes those markets? Citadel. Who works in that arena? Remember, that's what they do. That's what they're good at, right? So when those people make that move to you and I, they say, okay, we're going to go in. We want to be the collateralized institutions. We are going to be the people that control these markets. How did I know that they just got in the last few days? I saw a massive future short get called out right off market. Okay. What else did I see? Market continually going down. What else did I see? Oh, that's right. Not just Citadel, not just Citigroup, not just JP Morgan, not just Goldman Sachs. All of them over the counter are buying crypto. Look it up. All of it. BlackRock, not even using client money, is buying Bitcoin today. Look it up. I just did. It's amazing what's happening. So the whole thing's bloody red, blood in the streets, and they're buying. So who moved the market? Who shorted the market? Who made the market go down? No, it wasn't Bybit. And no, it wasn't 2 or 3 states that temporarily declined not to even talk about whether or not they're going to put Bitcoin on their books. That wasn't it. I'm telling you, the big fat whales are jumping in the pool right now. Right now as you speak. When you see a red move for no other reason for those moves that you and I have going on right now, and when you see Bitcoin dominance flying up the chart and everything else saying low and Bitcoin dominance climbing, they're buying Bitcoin today, my friends. Big money, big banking institutions are buying it, and they're going to buy every dip for the next 5 years. They're going to create the dips and they're going to buy the dips. Now, let's get to the punchline of this whole thing. Well, that sounds controlled and manipulated. Well, welcome to your world. That's your life in which you live in. Here's the good part. The good part is those people like to make money. Well, how do they make a lot of money? They make money when the money goes up. They short it, sure. They'll short a market and they'll get the weak hands. And they'll get you to capitulate like you're doing right now. All over the internet, I see people telling me, oh, I'm out. I'm done. I can't handle it emotionally anymore. This is ridiculous. This is absurd. I should have had a Lambo by now. Bye. Don't let the door. You're not big enough for this. You're not smart enough. You're not wise enough. Go back and just, stock shelves. Do whatever it is you got to do. But anybody that cannot see that this right now is a move to gain market share from the retail sales, then I can't help you. This is the time to purchase, and that's what the big boys are doing. They're purchasing red charts. And that's your strategy moving forward. The next 5 to 10 years, how many red days are we going to have in the next 5 to 10 years? I'd say about 20%. The other 80% are going to scream up in manners that you're not going to believe. Because these people play that game. It goes up 50, goes down 20, everyone panics and sells the 30 that they made, feeling good, and they get more of the coin. That's their game. I gotta shut the video off. I don't know, my dog's got something cornered over here. It's just nothing but fun around here, isn't it? Anyway, I had to get that off my chest. I heard so many people on Twitter and X and everybody's telling me what's going on and why the market's going down. The three biggest players in America just got into crypto, my friends. That's what happened. And they don't buy when it's high. All right? You know that. I know that. I love you guys. And look forward to my show coming Thursday night. I'm really excited about a guest I'm trying to get on. I'm going to try and get him on last minute, so I can't tell you who it is yet. But hopefully it's going to be a great show. Actually, I haven't announced that he is going to be on the show, so check that out. Anyway, it's going to be Jim from Caliber Brown, and I will see you live Thursday night. Love you all.